The world is at a crossroads. Globalization, technological advancements, and geopolitical shifts are reshaping the global landscape at an unprecedented pace. These dynamics present both challenges and opportunities. They demand new approaches to global governance and financial systems. Think tanks, with their in-depth research, policy analysis, and thought leadership, are crucial in navigating this complex terrain. They serve as architects of a new world order, one that is more just, equitable, and sustainable. These institutions act as bridges between academia, policymakers, and the public. They translate complex research into actionable policy recommendations. Think tanks foster dialogue, build consensus, and drive progressive change on a global scale. Their role is more critical now than ever before. The world needs fresh thinking and innovative solutions to address pressing global challenges. The first phase of the think tank's strategic plan focuses on foundational research and analysis. This involves a comprehensive assessment of the existing global governance framework. It identifies its strengths, weaknesses, and areas for reform. A key objective is to reimagine global governance for the 21st century. This requires moving beyond outdated state-centric models. It necessitates embracing more inclusive and participatory approaches to decision-making. The think tank will conduct rigorous research on emerging global challenges. These include climate change, cybersecurity threats, and global inequality. The goal is to develop innovative governance solutions that are adaptable, equitable, and effective. This phase will culminate in the publication of a series of policy papers, articles, and reports. These publications will outline the think tank's vision for a reformed global governance system. These works will serve as a roadmap for future action. The second phase transitions from research and analysis to action and implementation. This involves building strategic partnerships with key stakeholders in the global governance ecosystem. The think tank will engage with governments, international organizations, civil society groups, and the private sector. The goal is to foster dialogue, build consensus, and mobilize collective action. A key focus of this phase is to translate research findings into concrete policy recommendations. The think tank will work closely with policymakers to advocate for reforms that promote global stability, sustainability, and human security. Collaboration is at the heart of this phase. The think tank recognizes that no single actor can address complex global challenges in isolation. Systemic change requires coordinated efforts from all stakeholders. The third phase focuses on the long-term implementation and adaptation of the think tank's proposed solutions. This involves monitoring the impact of policy recommendations and making adjustments as needed. The think tank will develop metrics and indicators to track progress towards a more just and equitable global order. This data-driven approach will ensure accountability and transparency in the reform process. A key element of this phase is building resilience into global governance and financial systems. This involves anticipating future challenges and developing strategies to mitigate risks. The think tank will establish a dedicated task force to monitor emerging trends and identify potential threats to global stability. This proactive approach will enable timely interventions and prevent crises before they escalate. Throughout all phases of its strategic plan, the think tank is committed to bridging the gap between theory and practice. This involves applying research findings to real-world challenges and demonstrating the tangible impact of its work. For instance, the think tank's research on climate change governance will inform the development of innovative policy mechanisms. These mechanisms will aim to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and promote sustainable development. Similarly, the think tank's work on global financial systems will contribute to the design of more resilient and inclusive financial architectures. These architectures will be better equipped to withstand economic shocks and promote equitable growth. By showcasing the real-world applications of its research, the think tank aims to demonstrate the practical value of its work to policymakers and other stakeholders. This will enhance the think tank's credibility and influence in shaping global debates. The think tank recognizes that transforming global governance is a continuous process, not a one-time event. The global landscape is constantly evolving and new challenges will inevitably arise. Therefore, the think tank is committed to a path of continuous learning, adaptation, and innovation. This involves regularly reviewing its strategic plan, incorporating new research and insights, and adjusting its approach as needed. Transparency and accountability are paramount to the think tank's mission. The think tank will operate with the highest ethical standards and maintain open communication with its stakeholders. Finally, the think tank believes that international cooperation is essential for addressing global challenges effectively. The think tank will actively foster collaboration among nations, organizations, and individuals to build a more peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable future for all.